Hello, sunshines, and welcome to a new episode of Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. My name is Shanel Scott. I am your host and your spiritual tour guide, here to take you on a spiritual journey to help you, support you, mentor you, guide you along the path of opening your gifts and skills. And this week, this one is a little bit, it was spurred from the card of the day today. If you follow me on social media in the stories every day, I do a reel with a card of the day. And today's card was from the Past Life deck by Doreen Virtue and Brian L. Weiss. And Dr. Brian Weiss is like a huge into past life regression, and he has a lot of work in that department. I am very excited to be doing some past life regression training later in 2024 in the spring. So keep your eyes open for that. But this doesn't really have anything to do with past lives. This just happens to be the card deck that I used this morning. The card I pulled was male, female. And there was this very strong message of the balance of that comes through. And it's something that I've been talking about for a long time. So I thought I would share with you a little bit here today, because I think there's some misconceptions about what is actually happening right now. One, there definitely is this factor of gender not being important. And I'm not saying that to like push buttons or to, start a fight about something, because everything is important and matters, of course. But it seems to be something that spiritually it is less important to define ourselves as male and female. And it's more that we are just a community of loving beings. And that's what's most important. Loving each other, taking care of each other, being open to one another. But where this really comes in right now, because everybody is talking about the rise of the divine feminine, and that is what's happening right now. But there is this misconception that that is what's going to take the throne, that is what's coming into power. And that is not the case. The case of the rise of the divine feminine is a balancing of energies and encouragement of the divine masculine versus the kind of masculine qualities that have taken kind of a forefront, which are not as lovely. And just because they're defined as kind of masculine qualities doesn't mean that they're limited to male people, that they are something that both male and females carry. It is an energy that has been being pushed out over the last handful of years. Well, longer than that, but energetically very much so over the last handful of years. Typical patriarchal male kind of energy has this dominance and control, this need for wealth, which comes with dominance and control. I think that one's just a symptom of more than anything, but this ruler factor, that they need to have control of the situation, of having the power in the situation. And this can get messy in, male dominant areas. So whether that's, career or just in a family where there's a lot of males, but there is very much a hierarchy. There is, who is in charge, who is in control, who has control of this, who has control of that. But then this power, this lust and this need for power and greed and domination. I love that word because it just sounds so powerful, not in a good way, but in a bad way, but domination. And we are moving away from that. The reality is that we are moving towards equality, to everyone having a equal right and an equal vote, regardless of gender or religion or skin color, race, our belief systems, our sexual background, all of those things. Again, what the universe cares about is that you're a good person. That's like the big one here. Do you have morals and values? That is kind of where that comes in. So divine feminine still is a very powerful energy. Mother Mary was a very powerful being, depending on your story and what you believe in. I love Mother Mary and her energy, and I work with her spirit often. But she really has a very powerful energy. It is one of nurturing, caring, and protection. So you can see the difference here versus domination or protection. They're two very, very different things and carry a very different energetic atmosphere for that. But this divine feminine coming in is about balancing out. It's about nurturing and caring. It's about community. It is about love and light and all of those things that we love so much. Again, it's not about getting rid of the male energies. It's about bringing them into a divine masculine versus a patriarchal kind of energy. It is about the shift that is happening, that we are moving into, where we are being asked to move from service, move from love, move from connection. So it's a very different energy that's coming forward. There is this piece of equality that has been cried for years upon years upon years, that we really continuously, still to this day, are fighting for the rights of so many. It is important to recognize the difference in what we are trying to create, because again, it is not about dominance or control in any way. It is about coming together as a community. It is about coming together as a village, a people, to take care of one another. Everybody doing their part, everybody taking their piece, lifting their load to make it a better place. And when we do that, it shifts. It shifts this control from being this triangle where there is a point at the top and that's who's in control, to more of this place where there is a collective. This is just such an interesting kind of energy that is happening, and it is so beautiful to witness and to see this shift and this change, because it creates a softness and it creates a coming together that is so necessary in this day and age and in all that is happening around the world at this point. So that's my little definition for you today of the rise of the divine feminine and what is happening there. I think you're going to see that those that still carry the energy or the belief system of patriarchal kind of tendencies, you will start to see the power in those people diminish. You may see them lash out because they are losing control, and that does not feel good for them. We talked about this a few weeks ago when we were talking about witch wounds. People labeled others as witches because they were afraid. It had nothing to do with what the people were doing. Most of them were quite innocent and quite helpful in so many ways with the knowledge and understanding of the earth that they had. But people lashed out in fear. And, we still see that. We still see this lashing out in fear that happens. But the goal is to start to shift that in a much better way, where we communicate with each other, where we come to meet and find a common ground and to find a solution versus escalating the problem. It is a time for change. And not only will you see this on an individual level, I truly believe we will also see this in more of a financial institutions, politics, businesses, big businesses. I think you're going to see a shift in a lot of places towards this different way of being, because people are tired of being controlled. People are tired of being told to be fearful and to act out of fear. People are tired of greed and domination, and people want to be heard and seen and loved. So let's work together in creating more community. So what are you going to do today to create a little more community, to create a little more nurturing and loving and caring and protecting in your realm today? Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening to my little description here. This is a little bit of a shorter one than the last time. Thank you for being here and being part of my spiritual journey. Thank you for allowing me to be your spiritual tour guide. From my heart and soul to yours. Until the next time, my friends.